Good morning, Year 7. So today we're going to start looking at algebra. Now, algebra is the use of letters in maths to represent variable values. Now, a variable value can be of any number at all. It could be positive or negative, and we can choose any letter to represent this value. Now, generally when we write using letters, we choose lowercase letters, and in particular when we use the letter X, we write it in a curly form, like this, to avoid confusion with the multiplying sign. Some people call it as two C's back to back, like that. We can combine our letters with numbers to show how many of the variables of the same type we have, and this is called a term. For example, if we have A plus A, we've got two lots of A, which is the same as saying 2 times A. Now, when we're using algebra, we don't put in this multiplying symbol, so we just write it as 2A. And we can remember this by the phrase touching means timesing. So if you have a letter with a number together, that means that they are multiplying by each other. This would not be the case if we had two different variables. So if we had A plus B, these are two different variables. They may indeed be the same number, but we cannot add them together. We need to leave them as they are. If, however, we had A multiplied by B, then because we don't need to put in this multiplying symbol, we can say that that is written as AB. We can create something called an algebraic expression from a group of one or more terms. And the terms may have a mixture of variables and constants or known values. Something to note is that an expression does not have an equals sign. If it were to have an equals sign, we would call it an equation. This is an example of an expression. A plus 3. 3 is a constant and A is a variable. Another example might be 2x, so 2 lots of x, subtract 4y, so that's 4 lots of y, plus 7, where 7 is a constant. We have another example of 3k plus 4 minus 2j. And note that our constants, so our known numbers, and our variables can come in any order in our expression. So if we're given the value of a variable, then we can find values of the expressions and terms using that variable. So for example, here we're told the value of A is 3. So if we look at question 1, we've got 4A. 4 times A, which when A is 3, that's 4 times 3, which is equal to 12. If we look at question 2, we've got A squared. That's the same as saying A times A, which in this case, because A is 3, we've got 3 times 3, which is equal to 9. This third example is one to watch out for. 4A squared. Now the square sign here only applies to the A. It doesn't apply to the 4. So we have 4 times A squared, which is A times A. So 4 times 3 times 3, which is equal to 36. 4 times 3 is 12, times 3 is 36. So remember, the square sign only applies to the letter or number just before it. unless there were a pair of brackets around 2 or more. And looking at question 4 finally, 2a plus 3. So here we have to be aware of our order of operations, BIDMAS. So we've got 2 lots of a, 2 times a plus 3. Now our order of operations tells us that we need to do the multiplication before the addition. So we have 2 times 3 plus 3. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. Here are 3 more questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, show all of your working if you need to in your books, and then when you're ready you can move on and restart the video to check for your answers. And here are your answers. Check your work and then you will move on with the video. We can use algebra to write our own expressions to help us find values using variable quantities. In this example, we can see getting a basket in basketball scores 2 points. During one game, Jack gets B baskets. How many points does he score? So in this example, B is our variable. For every basket, he gets 2 points. So the total number of points that he's going to score is going to be 2, the number of points he gets per basket, times B, which is the number of baskets he gets. We don't need to put the multiplying sign in because touching means timesing, so we write it as 2b, and that is our algebraic expression. Here's another example. Victoria is 4 years younger than Dylan. Dylan is 7 years older than Ryan, and Ryan is x years old. Write down an expression in terms of x for Dylan's age, Victoria's age, and the total age of all 3 people. In here, we are told that Dylan is 7 years older than Ryan. We've been asked to write down an expression in terms of x, and Ryan is x years old. So we can say that Dylan is Ryan's age, x, plus 7. Whatever age Ryan is, Dylan will always be 7 years older. And that is our expression for Dylan's age. For Victoria's age, Victoria's 4 years younger than Dylan. So if Dylan is 7 years older than Ryan, Victoria is going to be 7 subtract 4 years older than Ryan, which means that her expression will be Ryan's age plus 7 minus 4 is 3, because Victoria will be 3 years older than Ryan. And finally, the total age of all 3 people, well, that will be Dylan's age, Victoria's age, and Ryan's age. So we know Dylan's age is x plus 7. And we're going to add on to that Victoria's age, which is x plus 3. And we'll add on to that Ryan's age, which is simply x. Now here we can see that we've got 1, 2, 3 positive x's. So we can write that as 3 lots of x, which is 3x. And then we've also got plus 7 and plus 3, which together combine to make plus 10. And this is our final expression for the total age. So here are 3 questions for you to have a go at yourselves. Pause the video, make sure that you do all your workings and show them in your books, and then when you have completed the questions, you can restart the video. And here are your answers. That's all for today. Hope you have a great day and see you tomorrow.